First thing that I really like to emphasize is organize your Maya project folder. So I will copy my folder from previous section that I've been edited a little bit. So this is number 2. And this is how how I like to do it. You may do slightly different as long as you organize your folder. I'm gonna paste in there, and I'm gonna override whatever is already there existing because I have a new update. And for today, instead of I'm gonna use that, I could do like this. I can copy and paste in the same folder. PC will add copy, and I can organize it by changing to week 3. You don't have to do like mine, but this is another way. So when I'm done, this is on D drive. When I look at the path, I will copy this and put back into my, pretend I'm done today. I come to my hard drive and I paste it on. And I'm gonna override it when we finish today. So, and try to get used to it working in Maya software. You don't want to do something like this, like double click, go to your scene folder, and then double click to open the file. You can, but the problem is, in the future when you work with animation or texture mapping, that's become a problem. Because if you're using the same computer, it will be fine. But when you move it, Maya will not be able to find it. You're gonna get black colors or missing file warning, stuff like that. And then you have to relink. So the problem, if you keep doing that, you're gonna have to relink every time when you open the file. At this point, Maya will use this project directory. Look at under your scene, this is the scene organization. And those scenes, if one of them has texture, we'll look under, Maya will try to locate under source images folder of these projects only, not the other project. So if you don't have the source images in here, you can't see texture and such. All right. So now when you open Maya project, you're gonna have to file set. Unless you don't have a new folder, you click on folder or project folder. So for your project 1, you may want to create a new project, name project 1, and then you move all your files that just have been started and put inside scene folder and set up the project. At this point, I have project 3, right? So I'm going to use set project, highlight it, and click set. Maya will just, if it doesn't say anything to me correct, what if I do like this? And then I just double click on that set. This is Maya will ask, like, wait a minute, there's no workspace.mil. So you have to select another location and highlight the folder that is correct. Okay, so what today we're gonna do though, we're gonna work on, let me bring the reference. Okay, so we will work on 2 things. How to create this part, see that part, and right here. So that's it that we're gonna do today. And then the next section, unless we finish early, we will do this. And then we will finish to add. Oh, we gotta go back to this part. This part is a little harder than the other. So, and the knot, the bolt and knot after. Next week will be all work week. I won't be here, but I can answer email. So just let me know, email, and we can set up the Zoom time too. I'll be able to Zoom, but not at the usual schedule. So it will be slightly different schedule. So I'll try to work with you. And the bottom part right here, you will need to build it on your own. But I will be available to help you if you can't do it. Because this is a really simple. The technique on this area, let me see if I can get a better picture. Close up. No? Okay, that's all. This has a little angle. Okay, this area, I like you to make sure you get that curve like that. A little bit more like ellipse shape, half ellipse. So, same technique as here, but less complex than the cap. Same technique. This section, same technique as you normally do. Extrude, cut, split. I would split this line, this line, extrude this part, move it outward, scale it down so that you get a little taper. When you press 3, you will see a circle right away. Same here. This part, same technique as any one of these. Same technique. So these will be slightly different. I'll show you how to do it. So no worry. And the bolt, the screw, the bolt, this part is a little bit complex. I'll show you how to do it. Okay. And make sure you look at on different image, because on the bottom there's another piece. Let's see if I can get, because the bolt we will build only one set and then you just duplicate them to use it, duplicate special, like go around. Now can you see the bottom part? Be careful, make sure you do it like exactly like this. Those details. These will be on your own, okay? So, but I will be available for help, okay? So you need to get on the Rubik set shape. It has to be really precise in terms of shape. Make sure they are not too tall, too short, too wide. Just really close to the reference. Okay? So, any questions? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I do. Okay. So, now let's take a look at the part that we're going to build. Okay. And at the moment, you just watch. We'll do it together later. Here, this part look like this. And I did a little different than last year. We will talk about that. Here we go. I just hide. When I press 3, can you see? We hide the triangle in the area that we don't really see. And this section, I could have put that triangle to here, but I decided not to because it looks a little more uniform. However, I found out later that look, it's create crease right here. So we can't. We have to really cut close like this one. I just want to show it to you that things that you need to pay attention, because can you see it changed the shape? Because these two span, this line is stop continuity from here to there. That's why it doesn't look like the other part. So we have to be careful about that. Now, on the front part, we'll talk about that. Not there. This way. Okay. So now let's talk about MultiCut tool in depth a little more so that you understand. So don't need to do anything else yet. I'm going to create a new scene. I'm going to talk about concept of MultiCut tool. This time I'm going to use a plane. I mean, if you like to follow along, no problem, but you don't have to. I just want you to see. Okay. Just talk about all the concept. Okay. MultiCut is allow you to cut phase, either the whole loop or portion of the loop. So Why do we need to cut fast? We want more segment in order to mold it into a little more complex geometry of surface. Right now though, if I have subdivision height, I would start it from here just to get started. But when you build in certain, like for example, with this file, obviously you don't have any opportunity to change the preset on the property anymore because it's gone. And so let's go back again. I did not save it. So I'm gonna scale this up 10. Resolution is 0. Okay. There will be a time though that you have this option. Let's pretend if I want to build this has a little surface extrude from the center, I would prep. So let's see if I do 2. Now 2, I have only 4 span. I can add section here. If I put 1, I have none, but I can add, right? So let's pretend I'm gonna add manually. I'm gonna delete history so that you can see I got nothing on here. Let me save. I'm gonna call MultiCut to, okay. So to access MultiCut tool, you can right click and right mouse click, or hold shift, right mouse click, and then you choose MultiCut. There's a bunch of options too, like under option. You don't need to modify these unless, let's see, snapping step. Right now, snap happen when you click and drag, hold, and then you add shift. Can you see? It said snapping percent, 10% corresponding to this setting. 10%. Smooth angle, 180 degrees, you don't have to worry about this at all. And subdivision, always want to keep 1 unless you want to do more. Like for example, if I do 2 division, I hold shift, when I add 1, 2, can you see it add that extra? That could cause problem because this is become isolate vertices. I mean the key to add like that, because I'm gonna have to bring it back. You wanted to connect them. Oops, I have to, hold on. Let me put it back while I'm still working. Press enter to execute it. Now I'm gonna turn off. Oh, sorry. 1, I have to click somewhere. How about here? Execute it. Now, can you see? That's the problem. Now, if you do this, you need to add. Make sure, oops, forgot. Now I have to turn off. If I hold shift, I can go to 10% each step, and then I can connect. Here we go. So now I get that. The problem with this is, if I right click and choose vertex, I have, let's pretend I don't have this one, but I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 corner is not acceptable. So in general, let me undo. With MultiCut tool, always started with 1 on the subdivision, but snap, you can reduce it to 5. So you get more snap in different steps. So can you see? Now, why and when do you need this? Well, you need this when you wanted to make sure you get even space. That's all you need. So let's pretend I want 5. Now I'm gonna skip to 20. So 20% is mean I'm gonna hold shift, okay, and click and drag. 20% from this span, not the entire. So this is 20%. 1 click. There we go. 20%. Here we go. So percent snap is depending on the space of one single edge or the span. That's what it is. That's what it is. So now I got a really nice looking. Now, I had a little problem though. What if I use 20%? I probably hope that, well, I thought that I would get equal number from this and that. No, because it depends. The distance between of 20% is from this point to that point. So I'm going to undo quick. If though you really want an equal number like that, I would suggest turn on, double click on move to and turn on symmetry. So X. And then you can go to multi-cut, hold shift. Now, when you have a symmetry on, when you hold shift, it will not work. Can you see? Because it can't calculate it. Because you symmetry on left and right. So there's no point to calculate because in between there's no space. No point on space. So you have to turn off the you have to not to use a space. Oh wait. Okay, there's a trick. Sorry. I thought this is better than last time. So you click it first and then hold shift after to make sure you get the space. Can you see? So now when you release the mouse, and now this is the problem. Oh yeah, I was right. So it just made me confused with this version. Now the problem is you can't connect them. Can you see? So it won't let you because it can't find the edge on the right here. So you can't use multi-cut with a snap. So what you could do though, you can cut first and then you execute it, you get floating. And then you turn off multi-cut. I mean, if you need to use this, okay, just in case. Now you could get 1 and 2. Don't use snap. It just reconnect those 2 points. So it's just a little trick. I mean, most of the case you may not need to use this, but there will be a case that you have to. So, or you want to because it makes things a little easier. Some people just ignore this technique. Do it one side, cut in the center, like this center. Oh, hold on. Let me activate. Okay. Cut this center and then delete one side, mirror it. So they will be exactly same, equal. Okay, so let me undo. So now let's try. I'm gonna make 50%. Oops, let me turn off the snapping. Undo. So I'm gonna turn off my snap to 10 because if it's 20, I can't get 50%. And then let me make sure off. Okay. So now if I hold shift and click anywhere, I insert middle point. If you're gonna do halfway, this is a quick way. You just hold shift and click. Let me execute. I'm gonna do it again. Can you see? When you hold shift, just move cursor not on the edge. If you move on the edge, it will make you slide. Okay? So now see like this. And you get 50%. Okay. So now how about this? I want to extrude only have something stick from the center. You have to have span enough. If I do like this and extrude, and I'm gonna just offset 1, how about 5? Oh, 2.5. Oh, no. 2.5. Here we go. And I extrude it again. And then when I move, I got this. But my problem is here. Can you see? I have extra space. This will cause problem. So if I move, let me subtract this one. Here we go. Oh, that's what I. Oh, one moment. So when I move, I get something like this. I have to move it apart. Okay. So now we use that extrude on a lot of things, and you should still continue to use that, but you need to pay attention where you can extrude, where you can't. Okay. So in this case though, what I can do multi-cut again. Okay. Now I need extra surface in there. I can hold Control and hold Shift. Now when you control, you create a looping, not just only split, is a multi-cut. That's what's the name of the tool. Allow you to do single cut and multi-cut. I'm gonna just add Shift key on it, and then don't click on the edge, because if you click on the edge, it's gonna allow you to snap and moving around. Certain time you want it, but in this time, I'm gonna just hold Shift and click anywhere else. Here we go. It will snap to the center. Here we go. So I'm gonna do that. See, I can do really quick. Just Control Shift. So now I have these phases from the center that I can extrude. Then when I move it, on the back side is hollow. That's the correct way, because you have black face in the same direction, the back face, that black color, and then the front face. How can we tell black and front? If you use face normal, any normal direction is the front. No normal direction is the back. So that's the thing. Now, if I press 3, it looks like this. So I can stop continuity. If you remember, we use this over and over. Let me turn off the face normal. Okay. So I do Control, and I'm gonna hold Shift and snap. Here we go. So that I get a little snapping. And right here, I'm gonna hold Shift and snap. Now can you see, because these stands are different, these sections are closer, even though I hold Shift. Okay. So, and now when I press 3, look like this. I need to add more here, because I need to stop continuity. Press 3, look like this. If I want to do on the top, basically just go in, 1, and now press 3. Now if you want the sides to maintain that shape, can you see brown? If I do this way, like you might think, here we go. The problem with that is, here, you got corner. Unless that's what you want. If you don't want, let me undo. I just want sharp only on the top. What you need to do is, you need to use smooth, extrude to help to add extra line just inside here. So if I Shift click all the face, extrude, and then I just offset it like 1. That's too much. Let's do 0.25. Here we go. Can you see? Now when I press 3, I got the top part sharp. So it depends on the direction of your cut. Okay? So I could do one more just only on this line. There we go. So now in this case, if I do multi-cut, let me cut all the way here. You can cut and skip if they are working on the same direction. Here we go. Oop, I can't skip on that face. Here we go. Right here, I do 10 and continue. Press enter, press 3. Now, can you see? You get a little stop continuity. If you want it to be closer, you have to move the line a little closer. Now you got full triangle here. It's not a good ideal, but because it's just so right at tiny corner, it won't show the effect of a diamond or a little weird look triangle on the surface. So this is kind of acceptable. Can you see the difference between there and there? Oh no, there and this side, yes. So I'm gonna cut it again. When you cut, to make sure that you cut right at the corner, you click and then drag until it stops. There we go. And then you could skip to here, but you can't skip it. Oh, this time I could skip it this way. But the problem with this is this. Can you see? It's a little crooked, the line. So you need to do, because the cut is also depending on your perspective. It's perpendicular to your face. So I'm gonna have to use like this. And I just eyeballing it. I look at on the line. Let me backspace again. Let me zoom in quick. So when I click on it, see, I just try to check if the line are straight line. Doesn't have thick and thin. So it means I'm doing a decent job. Let's see. I am trying. That's all I could do. Okay, it's okay. And press enter. Now when I press 3, I get this shape. Corner, round. Like I said, if I want to make a more sharper corner, I'm going to use selection tool. Selection tool, double click that loop. Turn on move a little. Now if you move and change the shape kind of started to distort it, don't use move, use slide tool. So in my case, move is fine. Just in case if the move tool give a distortion, you're gonna have to use slide edge tool. If you remember, slide edge tool you have to use with middle mouse. So what it does is it try to maintain the 3D space. It will shift but not create like dents in one side will be equally, because it depends. So now this might be too close. Oh, it's not bad. Okay, there we go. So now when you look at it, it's a little flare, right? So in that case, you can do vertex, just only this section of the vertex, select 2 of them, turn on scale 2 and scale until the line are a little straight. So it's just a little bit of work to do. There we go. So okay, so that's MultiCut and extrude. Now let's talk about extrude more time. The extrude though, let's see if I have angle like this. Let me get rid of this line for now. Okay, if I grab that little angle like this, here we go. Okay, so now if I select this face and extrude it, by default the extrusion tripod is set to normal space. Can you see? So this switch is normal. These are manipulator of extrusion. So when you grab, let's say these are perpendicular to the face, so it's like projection. So I move to project it based on the orientation of the normal. Now I'm gonna undo quick. If you move on Y direction, it will look like this. You have extrude, but when you see that kind of flickering black color back face and the front face, indicate that it's 0 on edge space. You need to move to separate it make it become a part, you will get something like this. So I can move to the left and to the right. So I'm gonna undo, because now hold on, let me move it back. You can make some change on here. If you look at on channel box, can you see the local pivot right here? Right now, z-axis is -3 point, y-axis is +5. So right now +5. What if I put 0 on y? Oh, sorry. No, that's a pivot point. I got it wrong place. Right here. Translate, local translate, sorry, that's a pivot. Local translate, y-axis is 3. If I put 0, can you see it's go back? And right here, if you want precisely, you can press 1, 1.5, and so on. So you can still come and make change of this. Now let me deselect. If I deselect and you wanted to work on that extrusion again one more time, you have to go to object mode in order to see inputs. If you delete history, there will be no input anymore, so it means you back it. So if I click on here, see, now I can change, let's do 3. Here we go. Or 0.5, go back. If I do 0, now what if I'm gonna play with scale? If you wanted to bring the handle back, you need to turn on manipulator tool. Some of you may not see this manipulator. You have to press T on your keyboard. So when you press T, the alphabet T, you will see this. So now, let's take a look at under local scale, right here. So if I scale X down, can you see it's updated? So when you do extrude, you have to do either either scale on manipulator or offset if you don't plan to move, and or if you want to move, you can still also move and taper it, right? Okay, so let me do another one. Here we go. Extrude, and I'm gonna instead, if you wanted to scale uniformly, you activate the cube and then you will see the center one. That's 3 axis. So when I grab it, I can scale it down like this. Now, you can also change from here, local scale. If I do 0.5, equal number, and then now I can extrude to extend another one. Now, this will be a problem sometime. When you work on extrude, you turn on move tool. Let's say I'm gonna select multiple phase, so I hold shift. Now when I hold shift, I might accidentally do like this, like accident. So let's shift, can you see? And then you extrude by accident. So when you wanted to work on selection phase, I would suggest you to switch to a to selection tool, Q, shortcut, can you see? Q, right there, shortcut. And if you are not familiar with it, you could go to movie. When you hop over one of the tools, you can click on movie, and then you can watch. Here we go. So now, there will be a time like this. You select extrude, you do extrude, and then you try to select something and accidentally get off, and then you forgot. You might feel like, hey, where's my extrude? I'm gonna select it again and extrude. And now I'm gonna move. But you already have one extrude on the bottom that was not moving. So the edge, 2 edge of this edge and there is become 0 space right on top. So now if I press 3, you may not see something wrong, but occasionally, not most of the case, you will see some kind of intersection problem. So when I press 1 back, but this is how you check. You go to vertex phase, and that's the problem. Can you see that face? It's not just edge, it's face, but two edge on top. So be careful about this problem, okay? You're gonna come across a lot of time. So if you detect it early and they are uniform, that's an easy fix. But if they are not uniform, that's become a big problem. So if it's uniform, I could go to clean up and face width more than 4, I'm gonna turn off. Last time we used this to check the face, right, when we do a boolean. Now this is the one. Edges with 0 length. So when I click clean up, I can click apply. Clean up is mean clean it and close this dialog box. Apply is clean it and leave this dialog box. That's the difference. So I'm gonna close it. Now let's test. Oops, sorry. Right click, vertex face. It's gone. Can you see? Because it was uniform. A lot of time though, you will not be able to fix this. You have to go in and delete the face. So let me undo. If this happen and then you can't use cleanup, this is what you need to do. Go to face mode. You might need to switch to 4. You wanted to select this face, delete it, and just leave on the top. This is the problem one. Okay. So now, if I go to vertex face, it's still there. So a little tedious, but this is what you need to do. I will have to select like this. You can do just only one side at a time and subtract that. So now, subtract. And if you look at on PolyCut, if you don't remember, display, heads up display, PolyCut, can you see? Right here it said 2 faces selected, but you probably see only one. We already know there are another one because of this. See, that one. So now what I can do is I can hold control key to subtract this face. If I press 4, I still can see it. Can you see? So now I have to hit delete manually. So I'm gonna select multiple face or because you already know that what are we trying to do. Subtract that. And then control click, click, and click. Can you see? And then I hit delete. Now after you hit delete though, you have to, in this case there's an easy for us because I have nothing else, just only one face. So now I can go to, if you go to on object mode, shift right mouse click, will use a marking menu for object mode type so you can access append to polygon tool. However, if we are on face, let's say, if you hold shift, you will not get append to polygon tools. Can you see the marking menu change depending on what type of object and component you select? So I need to go to match to append. And now append, it shows the thick border, so indicate it's open border. So I have to click one and click the opposite. Press Y to repeat and to execute and repeat the two again. Here we go. Maya will connect it for us. And now if I choose vertex face, it's gone. So now let's come back to extrude again. If I select this face, shift right mouse click, extrude. If I move it, it's pointing down depending on the angle, right? What if you wanted to move straight line? Easy. 2 ways. You can use this switch to switch to a world space, and then you move. You are still on a manipulator of the extrude tool. And I can scale this way, can you see? To make the line straighter. I'm gonna have to look at the other side. So I scale, and you can use regular scale too. See, now I get that line. Okay, so that's how you work with this tool. And these are the 3D space discs, depending on for rotation. So if I move the camera, can you see? It's perpendicular to the camera. I can twist them. But if you want uniform, I would grab the axis that parallel to the face you wanted to twist. So you could twist that too. So now let's talk one last thing before we go to do that part. What if I want to have another kind of thick box right here, but not all the way? It just only how about 1/3 of it. That's what we're gonna do on that part of the reference, right? Here we go. Right there. Not all the way, just only that part, not even on the edge. Can you see a little bit off? So let's see. In this case, you have to make decision how to split them in the way that can be extruded. Okay, so if I want 1/3, I could do uniform by multi-cut. Right? Oh, here we go. I cut it to. I forgot to not to hold shift. Here we go, and then you get that part. Okay, these are the simple one though. But what if when we do that part, it's not simple, so you can't just cut all the way. You might have to do something like this. For example, you cut one here, two there. Let's pretend that this is how I want it to look like. Okay. Okay, and then I have to connect these. This is 4 corner, that's good. This is not. So I have to connect these somewhere. Let's pretend I'm gonna do like this. So now I have this face that I can extrude. And here we go. And then I'm gonna taper it down. I can play with the offset, or I can scale manually. Can you see? So either way, I'm gonna undo. I'm gonna use, I'm not going to scale. I'm gonna use offset because offset is all around will be equal, not just only Z and X, X and Y. So let's do 0.25. Oh, that's too much. 0.1. Here we go. So now you got that shape kind of floating. So now I'm gonna stop this video and re-record another one. So we're done for working with multi-cut and extrude. I add extrude on with it.